Hey, gang, this is Andy over at the Facebook Live TV show, and we have a very special event today and a very special guest. It's going to be a very dear friend of mine. His name is Everett O'Keefe. Some of you may know him, and those that you don't, you better get to know him. And what this is right now, this is using a football reference. This is pregame for the Facebook Live TV show, which is going to begin airing next week. For real. These are practice runs that I'm doing, and I'm happy to have you on board. I want to hear your feedback if you have any feedback for me. And I want to know what your show ideas, if there's certain things you want to know about creating a Facebook Live TV show, which this is going to be all about. It's about the tech. It's about the marketing that goes along with it. It's going to be how do you monetize a TV show. So all of that is going to be part of the Facebook Live TV show experience. And I definitely want to know what you want to see when we decide to go live, when we start advertising, using Facebook ads and that kind of stuff, and when we really start to push it out and really begin to build our audience. I'm using a couple tools right now, and that's Blue Jeans is what I'm using right now to bring this broadcast to you. I'm using Mimo Live to bring you what would be a lower third, the picture-in-picture, which is right over here. My name's Andy Falco Jimenez. I created the Facebook Live TV show Elite program where I teach you how to bring your Facebook Live to your audience and to create your platform and to build your celebrity, which is exactly what we're going to talk about with Everett O'Keefe in regard to writing books. And also we're going to talk a little bit about a mastermind group and what you need to know about that. So, again, this is the pregame for the big show that we're going to be starting next week, and really would love your feedback. Go ahead and start subscribing now to this particular event. That way, when we do go for real, you'll be notified when that happens. If you also want to know what happens here on this particular program and another tool that I'm using a tool that allows me to broadcast along other Facebook pages all at the same time. I'm also able to alert Twitter that I'm on live, and I'm also able to alert LinkedIn that I am live here on the Facebook TV show. And so those are tools that you can find how to use in my program and how you can do that to build your, again, your presence and your list and all the things that go along with it. But so now what I would like to do is I definitely don't, I will definitely not do Everett O'Keefe justice because he is a very dear friend of mine. And we have really gotten to know each other over the last couple of years. And Everett, welcome to the show. I hope that people can see you now. I can definitely see you. And I love your sunglasses, that you look very like a star.
Yeah, I had to put them on. I had to put on the sunglasses because you were, that shirt is so white.
It's actually blue.
Really? We need to adjust your white balance or something.
It's a light blue though.
Then your wallet must be light blue too.
Well, your sunglasses threw me off, but Everett is a #1 best-selling author. He is the leader of the Mastermind Group. He is a creator of best-selling authors, and I have no idea how many best-selling authors you've created now. But you also have created a bestseller in regard to a Christian music album also. And like I said, I could not do you justice. Can you first introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about what it is that you do?
Sure. My name's Everett O'Keefe. I live in Clovis, California. In fact, I'm in my backyard right now, and my family has no idea that I'm doing this live broadcast right here. So if we get interrupted or something, please forgive me. I've just not given them any warning whatsoever. I just like to keep everybody on their toes. So anyway, married, 3 kids, ages 14 to 19, and have a business called The Solution Machine. And of course, in the Solution Machine, we do a lot of publishing. We take people's ideas, we help them write their books, help them get them on Amazon in Kindle and paperback or hardback, and then we do bestseller launches. And I think we're approaching 20 bestseller launches. I think by the end of November we'll have our 19th and 20th out. So it's super exciting time. And I also coach people on doing those things themselves if they're like selfless. And then of course we've got the Masters Backing Group.
All right. We'll talk about that towards the end, too. And so stick around. You're going to want to make sure and stick around for the whole show because the master's part of it is actually a very incredible it was a life-changing event for me, and you're going to definitely want to know more about a mastermind group and what you need to know about our group, the Masters. But first, let's talk about books. So why should an entrepreneur, somebody that wants to be an expert, or even a chiropractor, why would they want to bother writing a book when they're not even authors to begin with? What's important about them having a book?
Yeah, so I mean, really, there are few things you can do in your business life that can have more impact than authorship. It really is an amazing and unique thing, the power of the published. We tend to hold authors in high regard. We see people, and if we find out that they're an author, it kind of blows our mind. In fact, not long ago, I was on a airplane ride back. I had actually helped facilitate a client's mastermind retreat, and on the way back, I was sitting next to a guy who as I asked him about him, it turns out he was actually a bigwig in the Fresno area business community. But he had retired several years ago. But this is a guy who kind of moved in some pretty high circles around here. And when he asked what I did, I said, well, I'm an Amazon #1 best-selling author. And actually I couldn't get anything else out after that, because he said, really? I don't think I've ever met an author. And he was completely blown away by the fact that I was an author. And here's a guy who's been in the business world, moving in business circles all his life. And look at the unique position I held in the first half a sentence of my elevator speech. That's the power of publishing. Very few of us know authors, and when we encounter authors, it is rare. It's a rare thing. And then authorship itself gives a very unique opportunity for people to get a message out. Very rarely will you have the opportunity to communicate anything in depth to anyone you speak to, because conversations are always two ways. They're limited in time and scope. But when someone's reading your book, it gives you an uninterrupted opportunity to pour your message into them. And as a result, you can affect people in very profound ways.
Right. For some reason, your picture dropped off, but if you can, there you are. You're back.
Lucky, that's good
and so, what's that?
That's good for everybody else if my picture dropped off.
Well, see, I was going to be nice. I wasn't going to say that. And so part of what I'm trying to build here with people is an understanding that building celebrity is an important step into creating your platform and kind of creating a desire for people to want to work with you because of that celebrity status. Is that one of the things that being a best-selling author creates for them, is building a celebrity?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, my business partner and I, when we first wrote and launched our first book, he was telling me that one time he was at McDonald's and some guy came up to him and looked at him and said, like, aren't you like kind of a big deal? You know, it was just because he had seen something about the book launch and the bestseller status, and it was just immediately set that conversation to be a little bit different. The celebrity status, it comes, but it's not in the sense of, Dr. Phil, Oprah, that kind of celebrity status, though that can come with authorship, but it's a positioning thing. For my clients who have books, and let's say they're in a field that's fairly competitive. So I've got one of my clients, for instance, is in financial services, a financial advisor. And when he published his book, before he published his book, he was a financial advisor, very accomplished, also a speaker that spoke to other financial advisors and trained them. But when he launched his book, his business changed. His speaking revenue went up by about 600% in the first year, which is just a crazy thing to me. But the authorship had a profound impact there, but it also had a profound impact in his core business. And the truth of the matter is if people become authors and they do that in association with their business, their brand, they pretty much just eliminated any competition, because none of their competition will have that authority piece. Nobody will have the level of credibility that comes with authorship.
Right. And so, well, I guess let me ask this first. How hard is it for somebody who's not a writer, who maybe like myself, I'm a horrible speller and I'm horrible at grammar, right? And putting things down. Can somebody that's like me write a book and successfully do it?
Well, absolutely. In fact, case in point, you have, right? You've got several books out there now, so I think you just proved it. Yeah, the truth is you don't have to be a great writer to publish a book. In fact, if you go look at, oh my gosh, so think of this. So Bill O'Reilly has this series of books out, right? You've got Killing Reagan, Killing Patton, Killing Lincoln, all of these things. But if you'll notice, he's written those. Those are co-written books. There's somebody else involved there. There are lots of celebrities who are horrible writers, okay? But they write great books because of a couple things. One is either they are leveraging other people to help them in the creation of that book, or a technique that we like to do is really the opportunity to let somebody essentially perform their book. If we're working with someone who is not a writer and doesn't want to devote the time to writing, we can still write a great book with them by interviewing them carefully, maybe constructing an outline of a book or general content, and then asking them the right questions so that the words they speak out of their knowledge and out of their heart ultimately become the content of that book. It's a fantastic thing because it also significantly compresses the creation time. Our first client in writing a book, when I first met him, he said, "Oh, I've been working on this book. I've got this book I'm working on." I said, "That's great." And then about the next year, it would be, "I'm still working on that book." And then a year later, "I'm still working on that book." Finally, about 3 years after I met him, I sent him a blank book. I created a cover and I sent him a book with no pages, blank pages actually on the inside. And I said, "Great, you fill this." Anyway, if you're doing it the old-fashioned way, it can take forever. But if you're performing it or doing an interview, the content could be created in 30 days. It could be created in some basic sense in a matter of hours.
Great. So is that what you do? Is that you help people through that process and coach them through it? Is that what your business model is?
No, I just mentioned it because I thought it was kind of fun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, people aren't really supposed to know that we are that close that we can kibitz with each other.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm trying to be professional here, and you're throwing me under the bus.
I know. Sorry, I just couldn't. There always has to be a little bit of craziness in these things.
Yeah, you couldn't hold on to the facade any longer. It just was.
No, exactly. I didn't want anyone to get the impression that I was professional.
So let me try that again. So Everett, is that what you do? Is that you help people through that process?
Are you trying to get us back on track here? Okay, I'll do my best. So yeah, I mean, we bring clients. Clients come to us in many different places. Some of them come to us with, "I've got this manuscript. It's edited. It's ready to go. Can you get it up onto Amazon and Kindle and paperback and help us launch it?" Others come to us with, "I've got a rough manuscript, and then we just need to edit it and carry those other things out." Others come with, "I know I need a book. I don't know what it's about. I know I've got a lot of things to share with the world, but what's going to be the thing that's going to really improve my business, or what is going to be the way for me to get my message out?" So we can start with people really in any of those circumstances and take them to the end zone, to take them where they are a published author. And honestly, our launches create Amazon best-selling authors. So they have that additional credibility piece, again, obliterating any potential competition.
So before I go on to the next question, how do people get in contact with you for help in writing a book?
Yeah, so my company is called The Solution Machine. So if you go to thesolutionmachine.com, you'll be able to reach me through there. Or, honestly, we do so much through Facebook these days. Finding me through Facebook either as The Solution Machine or simply as Everett O'Keefe. And it's just for spelling purposes, that's Everett. Even my good friend Andy here can't spell my name correctly half the time, so I figured I'd spell it.
I add too many E's. So yeah, later on, after we get off in the replay, you could just put that information in a comment. That would be awesome. Because
Sure,
if I do
yeah,
it, I'll spell it wrong.
That's
I told you, I'm a horrible speller. Yet I'm a 6-time #1 best-selling author.
Right, you did. Yeah, I just didn't know it applied to names too. It's okay.
It applies to everything.
Yeah.
And so one more question about books. How do you make use of the book? If you're going to have a Facebook Live TV show, how would somebody use the book? Is it just about selling books? Is that where people are going to make their money? Or is there another thing that is really important to know about having a book that you can use in creating a list or a bigger audience?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because, Andy, people get the wrong idea. They think that if they get a book on Amazon, even if they get a best-selling book, they think they're going to make a lot of money off of selling books. The truth is you probably make little to no money from book sales, but
Right.
You can make a lot of money by leveraging the book. And so a lot of different ways to do that. In fact, Jen Foster and I created a book called Books to Bucks, and it's all about different ways to leverage publishing for your business. You can find that on Amazon, Books to Bucks. But a few things that you can do. One is, of course, this the credibility of being able to say, hey, Amazon #1 best-selling author, and what that does to how people tune into your show, for instance. Of course, you could sell books in your show by providing links to it, or people are just going to go look it up, right? They're going to hear the name of your book and they may go look it up. But where I think it's really going to be helpful is if you leverage it to help get people on your list for other offerings. Even people who sell gads and gads of books really make their money on other offerings. Think of Dave Ramsey, for instance. He doesn't make money from selling his books so much as he might from selling his workbook, selling his training programs, also the notoriety it's given him for his radio show. Of course, he's brought advertisers for the radio show. Even people like Dr. Phil could sell a ton of books, but he's going to make his money on other offerings associated with it.
Right. So just here as an example, this is one of my books. It's a #1 best-selling book. It's called Dog Sniff Evidence. And so what I do is when I'm speaking, I speak in Las Vegas, and I've spoken in Texas and some other places to attorneys that are in the criminal defense and criminal prosecution, trade shows and meetings and conferences. And so what I do is while I'm speaking, I say, if you want a free copy of my book, my #1 best-selling book, Dog Sniff Evidence, just enter your name and email address into this text, and I'll send you a free copy. The great thing about that is I get all of those people's information, which everybody wants a free book, right? And so I get them on my list, and now I'm able to communicate with them and build relationships. And I give the book away for free in a PDF form, not this hard copy, but a PDF. And quite often after they download the PDF, they go in and buy the actual copy. So you want to make sure and provide that link, because many of them would rather have a book than read it in a PDF on their computer. So that's one strategy that I use with this little thin book. This is a #1 best-selling book, and there are 53 pages. So 53 pages of a book.
Really,
it's not enough to have anything on the spine. That's one strategy that people like to have something on the spine, but it's not thick enough to have that. But this makes me, every time somebody hires me based on this book, it's $3,000 just to start. So do I want to give away a book? Yes, I'd give the book away. That's English for you. Give this book away to get a $3,000 check. And
that's a terrific example, Andy, where a $2 book, equals $3,000 of work, and a lot, with that kind of math, you can do that all the time. It's first just clarify some things for people. A lot of people think that they need to write a book that's going to be their legacy. It's going to be War and Peace. It's going to be some crazy, amazing thing. Well, you need to also remember is how much are people going to consume your material. You wrote that 50-page book in order to get people into your funnel, and not necessarily to be your life legacy. And then I think of Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins last year published this big financial book, 600 some pages long. And
Mhm.
I will guarantee you that 9 out of 10 people who bought that book have not gotten past page 300, even past 150. So you
Right.
really do want to keep your book short so people consume your content so you can have the impact you're trying to have.
Yeah.
Hey, you
Now,
got
this is
Frank's
one of
book.
your books that you helped Frank Lies create,
Yep.
correct?
Yep. In fact, we're working on the second one right now.
Yeah. So what I like is the price on the back that you have here, and there are some cases that you can literally purchase a box of these books and take to you to a live speaking event and give them away. They only cost you like $4 or $5 a piece or something like that, as long as you don't have a lot of colored pictures in there. And same thing, it would behoove you to give away a $5 or $6 book, $7 book to get a client that's going to pay you a large amount of money. And then to have the price on the back, it feels to them that they're getting something of value too. So I think that that's a pretty good thing. I didn't think about I should put like a $45 price on my 53-page book, and they'll feel like they're getting something.
Yeah, or they're getting snowed, one way or the other. Um, but you bring up a good point. We usually will set up the books for print on demand publishing. This is the technology that's entered the market in the last few years. It used to be that if you were an author, even if you're, especially if you're going to self-publish, you would have to buy cases and cases of your book, and they would then be sitting in your garage for the
Right.
next decade as you tried to find a home for some of the books, on an individual basis. With print-on-demand publishing, you can set this up in such a way where Amazon will print the book only after it's been purchased, whether by a customer or by you. They'll send it to you, and the cost is as little as $2.50 plus shipping, and then it's incredible. And then if you do go speak somewhere, I set this up for my clients. When they're going to speak at a hotel in San Francisco, they give me a little bit of a heads up and tell me how many copies they want where, and then when they get there at the hotel in San Francisco, there's 50 books or 100 books waiting for them. So they're
Right.
not traveling with them, and they're not having to pre-order crazy numbers of books. Um, the other thing is that strategy does give you the available option of putting a lot of books into people's hands. So if you do get the opportunity to speak at an event of 10 people or 1,000 people, you can get a copy of the book into each person's hand, whether that's you paying for it because you know it's going to be valuable, or whether you're working that into the speaking package with the event organizers. In fact, I've seen it happen where people say, hey, if there's 100 people at an event, they say, look, I'm going to bring 25 books for free. Choose who do you want to give. Or if you
Yeah.
want to give books to everybody, I can give you a discount and you can acquire the extra books for the rest of your group. And almost always they're going to say, well, yeah, let's do that. And if you can give them a $15 book for $6 or $7, and it only costs you $3, make more money on the sale of the book, and everybody gets your book, and you want everyone to have your book anyway.
Yeah. Great strategy. So one thing that I just want to know that was great about the books, and I'm kind of sad that this is in the pregame. We're gonna have to do this again when I actually go full force with the show. And in some aspect, I think the feeling of calling these things TV shows, kind of some people look at it like you're not really doing a TV show because you're on Facebook. But this really is a TV show. I just saw Melody Rush. She's watching, and she said that she's watching this through her Apple TV. And so
Oh,
we are literally on her television in her house through Apple TV. So there you
hi,
go.
Melody.
It's a TV show because it's on Melody's TV.
Hey, that's a good segue to talk about the Masters.
It is. And so, yeah, the Masters, being part of a mastermind group for me has really literally taken me to another level that I could not imagine. As a matter of fact, when I went to the first mastermind, I felt like I should not have been there because everybody was so far ahead of me. And I felt like I could not add anything. But that was exactly where I needed to be. I needed to be the dumbest person in the room so that I could learn, right? And so, and this group of people, the masters, being there with Everett and that kind of stuff, really
Melody.
has and Melody and Sue, and now you're gonna make me leave out
Melody.
people.
No, I just brought Melody up because you said she's watching. That's why I said it was a great segue.
Well, Yael's there too.
I'm really
Yael,
trying to,
yeah, Yael's
really
on.
work on you,
Uh,
Angela.
Nikki, Jim, all these people. So what can you talk about? Because since you're the guru of masterminds, what is a mastermind group, and why should somebody be a member of a mastermind group?
Yeah, thank you. I think it's important to start on that first question. What is a mastermind group? Napoleon Hill wrote about mastermind groups a long time ago. And sorry about the background. A truck just went by. Anyway, so a mastermind group is basically where a group of people gather, either in person or virtually, in order to help brainstorm ideas, work on each other's businesses. They can be very informal. They can be very formal. I've heard of mastermind groups that were really big, like 100 or 200 people. I don't get that. I don't think that works. I think a mastermind group needs to be under 20 as far as a mastermind meeting. But it's a chance for people to get together and really kind of share, these are the things I've done that have succeeded. These are the things that I've done that have failed. And I've got this project, and can you guys give me any feedback about it? It's also a place for people to come share tools. For instance, we're here working on blue jeans because a member in our group said, hey, there's this cool thing called blue jeans. We probably ought to check it out. And we all checked it out, and we're like, oh, this is incredible. And so here we are using this tool, Facebook Live. The only reason any of us have any expertise in Facebook Live in our group is because you, Andy, have brought it to us. You've stayed up to date with the latest, the greatest on Facebook Live, and you continually educate us. So I see a mastermind group as a chance for us to bring out the best in each other and sharpen each other so that our businesses are more successful, we're more successful, and I think also more resilient. I tend to think of a mastermind group as, I mean, the Masters, for instance, it future-proofs my business. Changes will come, whether it's in technology, strategies, the economy, the market, whatever. Changes will come, but my mastermind group will help future-proof my business by making sure that I can weather all those changes.
Fantastic. I'm going to bring it up here really quick. So here we go. So there's the Masters Facebook page, and anybody can get this. Is the public Masters Mastermind page, right, on Facebook?
Yes, it is. That's right.
All right. So do they type in Facebook the Masters, and it'll come up very easily for them?
If not for that, then Masters Mastermind will. In fact, that's the URL. It's facebook.com / Masters Mastermind.
Masters Mastermind.
Yeah, and what we've actually got there are some neat resources there, but also for those people who are interested in finding out more about joining the Masters, there's an application. There's a tab on the left-hand side where they can go ahead and fill out an application to see if we're a good fit. And that's the thing. When we look at potential members, first, there is an investment to become a member. And honestly, any mastermind that you're going to join, the value may be significantly determined by whether or not you have to make an investment to get in. There's that whole thing. If you don't pay, you don't pay attention. So, but anyhow, when we look at a potential applicant for the group, we are weighing, will they be helpful to the group, but also will the group be helpful to them? Is everybody a good fit? And while we know that everybody in our group has a certain level of expertise, we also know that new people sometimes don't know the expertise they have. In fact, Andy, I would say that that's perhaps what kind of a shift that happened with you when you came to our first retreat, was that you came there thinking that you weren't the sharpest tool in the shed. And honestly, I know you're laughing, but I'm glad you're muted, or you're just laughing silently. But you came there, and the deal is that you discovered more and more of your expertise, and you gained more and more posture through your time in the group. I can think of another person who came. I'm not going to mention her name, but when she came to our first retreat, she felt like she had absolutely nothing to offer the group. She felt like she didn't know what she was doing. Her business was in its most fledgling stages. I think she had literally conceptually started it about 30 days before she joined our group. And with quite frankly, within 6 months, she was an expert at international publishing. She had published numerous #1 bestsellers for her clients, and she was training other people in regards to publishing, when that was a topic that she knew next to nothing about when she first started our group. And these kinds of progressions are things we've seen over and over with people that have joined our group. And Andy, quite frankly, you knew a lot more than you knew when you started our group. So I'm not going to pretend that we made you by any means, but it's sure been fun. It's sure been fun to watch all the things that you've been doing and the growth you've been having.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. But it allowed me to kind of bring the stuff out, bring it to the surface. And it's only because of the mastermind group that's been able to happen. What I wanted to do is show everybody just what this is the Kajabi platform for our membership site that comes with being a member of the Masters. And you have training in Kajabi, you have training in product creation. And all of these videos have been created by our members and teach you how to create a product. I mean, it's just there's almost everything you need to start your business, how to do a webinar, social marketing, creating a book, and then the calls are in there. So that's that part of it. And then our private Facebook group is also included, and that's what this is right here. It's a secret group. We're going to show you a little bit of the inside, and we have discussions, and we want to talk, and that's where we hold some of our discussions about, hey, have you seen this new thing, or have anybody tried this new tool? What do you think, and that kind of stuff. So it's very interactive, and people get a lot of use out of that those programs within our Masters mastermind group.
Well, in fact, and then the other part, of course, is our retreats. And it's really how we started this. And that is we go to a great location, like we've gone to Yosemite and Aspen. We've gone to the Dominican Republic. Our last retreat was at Carmel by the Sea. And Andy, it just occurred to me, I have I have a bit of a sizzle reel from Puerto Vallarta. Can I run about a minute of it?
Sure, of course.
Yep. I say Puerto Vallarta, Puerto Plata, I mean, in the Dominican Republic. So let's see how this runs. I'm on Wi-Fi, so I have no idea how it's really going to play.
And I'm going to change it to a different view so that you become a little bit larger.
No, really. I'd rather be smaller. Sorry. Oh, you're talking about the video. All right. Let me run the video now. Is it running?
No.
Okay. Well, and mine says I need to actually have something installed, so it's probably my fault.
Bummer.
Yeah. That's okay.
Is it in one of the Facebook pages?
I don't know. Let me look. I don't think so. I think we're just running it side by side still. No.
Okay.
It's not running. That's okay. That was a great video, though. I mean, it was stellar, didn't you think?
Nice job. Okay, now I'm glad this is pregame because we weren't quite prepared. We tried something, on the fly, and it didn't work. But that's okay. That's how we learn. And this is actually it's being real, and it's hopefully making other people feel comfortable that they need to create their own live TV show. So make sure and go to FacebookLiveTVShow.com. That's FacebookLiveTVShow.com, and you'll see some of the details of my training program to help you start your own training. And Blue Jeans, I've created a couple training videos already for Blue Jeans that's really not available yet for the general public yet, but it will be. But you'll be ready once it goes live. If you're in that training program, you'll see how to use it and how easy it is and how fantastic it is. And you can see I'm controlling things. I'm able to talk. I'm able to control my desktop and bring that to you all while talking. That's how easy it is to use. Again, if I can do it, it's got to be easy. It's just the way that it is. Is there anything that you want to add before we take off here, Everett, with how to get in hold of you, or some closing just nugget that you want to give our audience about what's on the top of your head?
Well, I mean, certainly if anybody's interested in publishing, reach out to me and let's just explore. Let's just have a conversation. and kind of see where you are and what your ideas are and see if there's something that we can help you with there. Quite frankly, every one of us should have at least a book out there, if not several. And then in regards to masterminds, we all need to be in a mastermind group. If I had known about masterminds when I was in my 20s and started participating in them, the last 30 years would have been substantially different. I can just tell you that Napoleon Hill talked about accomplishing more in a mastermind group in a year than you would in 5 or 10. And that has borne out. I've seen it over and over, both in my life now with participating in and in facilitating mastermind groups, but also in those people that are members of our group. I've just seen incredible transitions, and the transitions aren't only monetary. In fact, it's very, very rare that any real transition occurs in your life that is going to be strictly monetary, because it usually requires a mindset shift. And what's happened, I've seen in a group, is people's mindsets change, and they find a level of accountability and camaraderie in the group that helps carry them to their goals. And it's an incredible thing to watch. It's greatly enhanced by the retreats that we do, because these give a chance for everybody to really cement relationships as we work hard, but also like do a lot of crazy fun activities and eat food from our private chef that we bring with us, and just little stuff like that. And all of those things are critical. So, hey, Andy, I'm going to try one more time to share the video, just in case it works. Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying it right now.
Thanks for using my show as an experiment.
Well, I love doing that. I can't tell if it's trying to play or not. Oh well, but it was fun to try. It really was. So, and what you would have seen was this video of people mountain biking through Aspen, standing on a dome in Yosemite, drinking champagne and eating strawberries in front of Half Dome, whale watching out in the Monterey Bay. You would have seen those things. Oh, and some work going on as well.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely got to tell people that there's work being done.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, with the retreats end up being about 50 to 60% work and about 40% play. And
right.
And the irony of it is that we find that the play time is actually at least as valuable as the work time, because it gives a chance for people to continue the conversations on the work, and to go deeper and deeper and build relationships. And then by the end of the event, we're so cemented together as a group that it makes all the rest of the year that much more effective. And by the way, we do meet, as any mastermind group should meet regularly. We meet every couple of weeks on video conference, so that we keep moving forward. And then we have our retreats a couple times a year.
I was just going to ask if we happen to mention the biweekly calls, but one thing that I like to refer the members of the mastermind group to me is my the board of directors. So I call them my board of directors, because they're the people sometimes I'll run some things across. What do you think? And they'll give me the advice like as if they're board of directors to a company. And it's nice to have that and not have to pay them for that service.
A free board of directors, and think about that. Again, I won't mention any names, but I remember one particular person who we did a hot seat with her, and she laid out what her business was, what kind of challenges she was bumping into, and she was trying to figure out how she was going to improve her business. And one of the members in the hot seat said double your fees. And in fact, everybody in the group then turned around and echoed it. And it was something that she would have never dreamed of doubling her fees. Maybe incrementally raising them is what she would have done. But instead, she dramatically increased them. And she lost maybe 5% of her clientele, but substantially increased her. And she was a happy camper when she did it. She was scared. And by the way, without the group behind her, she would have never done it, because she would have been scared and wouldn't have gone through. But with the group there to hold her accountable and to encourage her and support her, she did it, and she's super glad she did.
Yep. Yep. And she's doing great, and we're so happy for her. We have to have her on as an interview on our show to talk about that kind of stuff. So we just have a couple of just comments that are for us. But if you're wondering what I'm doing, over here is my iPad. And that's the only way right now that I can see my comments, or not my comments, but the comments of people that are watching. So as I'm looking over here to see comments, right now in the Blue Jeans, just talk a little bit about Blue Jeans, there's no way of seeing the comments when we're broadcasting through the app to the Facebook pages. The other thing is that since I'm broadcasting to a large, like I think 7 Facebook pages all at the same time, there could be comments on some of those other. So as we're getting this technology down, I'm kind of going back and forth. So I don't want you to think that I'm, doing something entirely different as Everett's talking. But I'm just monitoring some of the discussions and the talk and that kind of stuff. And that's that's some of the great things about technology. And then there's some things you have to balance and kind of get used to. So that brings me to this point. And if anybody's wondering, well, why are you doing all these pre-game shows before you're actually going live? Is because some of the stuff takes practice. If I'm going to be able to talk to you without going and stammering and then losing my place and then having dead air, that doesn't make for a very good show. So I want to make sure that I get most of those things out of the way so I have some muscle memory because I'm using 2 tools at the same time. Mimo Live to bring up the lower thirds and transition back and forth between my desktop and then Blue Jeans to control the view. So sometimes you see Everett being the larger picture and me underneath, and that swaps back and forth. That's one view called the active presence. And then there's one where we're side by side, and that one's called constant presence. And so I have to control that on my screen. So those of you that are interested in starting your own show and using some of these tools know that some of the stuff isn't just automatic, that you have to have kind of the ability to talk, chew gum, and use your hands all at the same time and be aware of the conversation. So I have to listen to Everett because you have gold in what you're talking about, and I don't want to miss that either. So this practice, and what I'm encouraging to you and what I do in my program that I teach you is to practice. Get on there and even just do even one that's not live. Just practice talking to the camera, manipulating the screen, and doing a bunch of stuff. I saw you were going to say something, Everett, there for a second.
Well, it was very nice of you to sidestep the opportunity to give a dig on me, so I appreciate that. That was really unexpected and uncharacteristic. No, but what I was also going to say, though, is for those people who are looking at doing Facebook Live broadcasts, is to know that there's different levels of technology that they can get into. I know you go into this in your training, and to not be intimidated by the tech, because it can be done as simply as I have my phone and I'm going to broadcast from my phone out to Facebook Live. Though we're going to recommend you do it with a microphone maybe and some things like that, but it can be done that way. It can be done all the way up to the point where you've got multiple people on screen at the same time and lower thirds and digital backdrops and studios. You can do all that stuff too, but don't be afraid of the tech. And then don't think that you have to be great at chewing bubble gum and walking at the same time, because you also can have somebody with you if you want that they're handling some of these things. They're switching to so like as Andy and I sit here, we're actually both moderators in this tool that we're using. And so while the layout I think is on active speaker right now, where it should be full frame on one person, I can go ahead and switch it right here. And now it's what they call active presence. And then if I want to do constant presence, where we should be roughly side by side and the same size, I do that. So this allows, when you've got someone else with you, they can do some of the bells and buttons and all of that while you're talking and concentrating on your content.
I'm so happy you said that. Because when you sign up for the Facebook Live TV show training, you actually get a training course just on using your phone. So I'm so happy because that really you need to know how to do that and do it well. And it's simple. You just go out, make a post and you hit live and you're live. There's nothing else you have to do. No other manipulation, nothing. You just start talking live. And like you said, you can actually plug in a microphone if you want to. So there's a whole course just on doing that. And then the other course is how to use all the other stuff. So thank you for referring to that, because that fits right into the program. You get both programs included in the price of one. So that is cool.
I wanted to say, just because so people would understand the value of what you're offering them. because Facebook Live is the thing right now. I don't know how long it's going to be the thing, but it is the thing. It's one of the most effective ways to reach your audience because many of them are on Facebook already, and this will give you a chance to easily reach out to them. And what I love, Andy, about what you've done is you've created training to take people from no knowledge to really to become experts at this. And the expertise that they develop, they could either employ it strictly for themselves, or they could create whole businesses out of this. I mean, what you're doing right now, you have done for your business clients, and there's big money to be made out there. People want to work as consultants in this little niche. Really powerful. I mean, I think of just the opportunity now to live cast, shareholders meetings for corporations. Like, how easy is it to do now? They pay a fortune to make that happen in other ways. It could happen very easily with these tools.
Yes, indeed. All right. We could go on forever because this is really interesting stuff. At least it is to us, to you and I.
That's right.
But it's a Saturday. We got families we got to go take care of, and I'm just glad that you guys decided to join us, especially those that I can see right now is Yael and Melody, and at some point we had I forget 38 people that were reached or something like that. So I'm not sure how many people on the other pages are watching, but we do appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch what we're doing. And those of you watching the replay, thank you. And we just want you to subscribe to this Facebook Live TV show. So again, when we go for real, you'll be notified.
How do they subscribe?
There's a button right on the screen. When you're watching live, you just click on that. And then if not, then on the replay, there is one somewhere. I forget where it's at now. As an expert in that area, I should know. But it's there for you to subscribe. It's just a little button that says subscribe. You just click on it, and it does everything for you. You don't have to do anything. Just click the button.
Great.
And then share on your page. If you're a marketer and you think your audience might enjoy listening to us about how to use Facebook Live, how to write a book, what a mastermind group is, that kind of stuff, share it on your page, and that would be awesome. We'd really appreciate it, and you'll get people engaged on your Facebook page, some of them from our audience. And that's kind of the cool thing about sharing on your page is that we now have the ability for our audience to know what you're doing and back and forth. So that's pretty cool. All right. Anything else, Everett?
No, man. Thanks for having me on, and I hope we said at least one thing that was valuable to somebody out there. So
I'm sure we did. All right. Just remember, you're going to have to end your broadcast because if you don't, then you're going to stay on after I end mine.
All right. Well, I'll end mine first, and then,
all right,
and that'd be good. So, all right, everybody. Thank you, and Andy, again, thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Take care.